Today, we're going to break down the code from the movie The Town. It paints this incredible picture of a Boston neighborhood where crime isn't just something people do, it's a tradition, it's a trade, it's a way of life passed down from one generation to the next. So, let's dive right into the dangerous, walled-off world of Charlestown. Right off the bat, the film hits you with this. This isn't just a random statistic, it's the movie telling you, pay attention. This place is different. Think about it. An entire city's worth of major crime, all coming from this tiny 1 square mile spot. It immediately frames Charlestown as this intense, concentrated hub for professional criminals, a place that plays by a whole different set of rules. So, how do they build that world? First up, we're looking at Charlestown's reputation as the heist capital. The movie does a fantastic job of making the location feel like a character all on its own. Get this, 370. That's the number the movie throws at you. In their world, Boston has more bank and armored car robberies than anywhere else, and it's pretty much all thanks to crews from this one neighborhood. And we're not talking about simple smash and grabs. No, these are portrayed as professional, highly planned jobs. It really gives you a sense of a city under siege. And this is the idea the whole film is built on. It's called the town's trade. Robbery is treated like a family business, a craft handed down from father to son. The movie makes this wild comparison. You know how an old village in Europe might be famous for making clocks or wine? Well, this neighborhood is famous for heists. It's not just about being poor. It's a culture where this is seen as a viable and, inside their bubble, maybe even a respected career path. Now, you can't have a whole criminal subculture like this without some rules, right? And that brings us to the unwritten code. This isn't about laws you'd find in a book. Nah, these are the rules of the neighborhood, and in their world, they're a whole lot more powerful. This quote right here just says it all. It's this total rejection of the outside world and its laws. The loyalty to the crew is so deep that doing 40 years in prison is better than ratting someone out. Self-preservation isn't number one. The crew is. It's an unbreakable vow of silence that really defines every single character. So let's break down these principles. Number one, the foundation of everything. Never, ever talk to the cops. Period. Then, take the heat. If you get caught, the story ends with you. You don't drag anyone down. Answer disrespect with violence. That's how order is kept. Protect your own is both a promise and a threat. Your crew has your back, but you better have theirs. And finally, loose ends are a liability. That explains their cold, calculated professionalism when they're on a job. Now, a code like this doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's inherited. It's in the blood. So next, we're looking at the sins of the father. This is all about how the past isn't really the past here. It's more like a roadmap for your future, a cycle that's almost impossible to break. This father-son relationship is everything to the story. On one hand, you have Stephen Big Mac McRae, a town legend doing life for a robbery so brutal it literally changed security rules in the real world. Then you have his son, Doug. And Doug had a way out. He had a shot at pro hockey. But the pull of his father's world, of his town, is just too strong. He comes back and steps right into the life he was trying to escape. It's absolutely tragic. And this line, man, spoken through the glass in a prison visiting room, is just chilling. It's the father telling the son, we're on the same path, and it ends in the same place. There is no other way for us. It just hammers home that theme. You can't run from where you come from. So the movie sets up this closed-off system, this inherited code, and then it does what great stories do. It throws a wrench in the works. The main conflict really kicks off when an outsider gets pulled into their world by mistake, threatening to bring the whole thing crashing down. And that's the big dramatic question, right? The crew makes a mistake on a job and takes a hostage, a bank manager named Claire. She's a loose end. But then our protagonist, Doug, starts following her and gets involved with her. And in doing that, he opens a door to a totally different life, a life that goes against every single rule he has ever lived by. You can see this conflict perfectly in the two main characters. You've got Jem, who's pure Charlestown. He sees Claire as nothing but a threat. She's the one person who can bring them all down. His loyalty is to the code, full stop. But Doug sees Claire as a chance to escape, to finally leave the town behind. You have these two forces, loyalty to the past versus hope for the future, and you just know they're on a collision course. And that collision takes us right to the climax and the film's final message. What does it actually cost to try and walk away from this life? The story shows you that the very code that's meant to protect them is also a cage. And in this world, leaving isn't a choice. It's the ultimate betrayal. This line is just brutal. Jem reveals that years ago, he killed someone to protect Doug. But he's not telling him this as a friend. He's framing it as a debt. He's basically cashing in that chip, saying, I saved your life, so now your life belongs to this crew. You don't get to just walk away. The protection he offered became a leash. And in the end, Doug says it himself in a final note. He finally understands that even if you can become a better person, you can't just erase your past. There's always a price to pay for the things you've done. It's this powerful idea about accountability and about how our actions cast long shadows that we can never truly outrun. So the film leaves us with this big, lingering question. Was Doug's fate sealed from the day he was born in Charlestown? How much of who we are is defined by where we come from? And can we ever really, truly break free from that? It's a question that makes you think about the codes and the places that shape our own lives. Hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, share it with a friend, and definitely subscribe for more deep dives. Thanks so much for watching.